Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode. I sat down to do computer work today and got looking outside, and it is a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. It is hot, like 100 degrees, but I haven't been out of the house in almost 2 days because I have been glued to my computer doing work and had yesterday's workout in the garage at home. So I am really itching to get out of here. So I hit pause on my computer work and decided that you and I would go vintage shopping. Just around town in my area, there's 4 or 5 places that I go on a regular cadence. I usually do vintage shopping Fridays, so I'll stop work early and I will go vintage shopping for the second half of the day on Fridays. I was doing that about once a week for quite some time while I was sourcing for my own house, but since we've been back from Round Top, Texas, I've only been once. So in like 2 months, I went to one place and that was it. So I miss my people and I want to get out there and see if we can find some stuff. So let's go.
I really love these. I think they're called settees for like the end of a bed or even in a living room, like horizontal in front of a fireplace. Um, it just adds a different shape to the room. And I think that it's really nice to have a few things that switch up the shapes. This is also nice too. That bench, like at the end of a bed, I don't know. Something about it I don't love, but I think that this fabric is really nice and versatile. It would add a lot of texture to a space. Gray. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan. This is cool. I think the shape of that's really nice. I don't like the way it was upholstered. This gray marble table. I love a marble table. I think it's so classic. They're heavy, they're durable. I don't love the gray. I've been looking for silver lamps. This is sort of a similar shape to what I'm looking for, but it's gold, and I also want a pair. But the silhouette is still nice. It's hard to find silver lamps, I've noticed. I like them in a shape that's similar to like Gregorian vase, I think would be the way to describe it. This lucite framed mirror. It has like a smoked gray lucite frame with a mirror in the middle. These can be really nice if you properly style them to add a modern element into a space. There was one a while back, actually a set of two similar to this with more of a brown smoked frame on them. And I think if done properly, it can be a really cool element in a space, almost serve as art. This moody ocean painting with the sailboat, I think is really interesting. I'm honestly not mad about the way that it was framed. And I've just noticed that I'm really drawn to moody oil paintings like this and black and white new photography. This one is 189, I think. Yeah, 189.
Okay, thought this was cool. This is sort of like an amorpha style vase. Super unique. Not quite my style, but I do love an amorpha vase. I like the silhouette of this. Sort of the Art Deco handles. It's nice. 30. I love an ashtray. for tabletop styling, like on a coffee table. And these blue Wedgwood, I'm always drawn to these, but I just feel like I would get tired of them. And even some of the stuff that I love that I'm drawn to, sometimes I just refrain because I think about my overall aesthetic in the home. And I just try to keep things really tight to make my home really curated and make it timeless for me. And I don't know, maybe one day I'll get into those, but for now, I just worry that I'd get sick of them. This is nice. This cut crystal bowl with the silver lip. It's 60. I actually haven't found one of these yet, but I do see vintage sellers quite often find them. That's really nice. Again, for like a coffee table, or you could even put it in the kitchen. Like if you had a moody kitchen with silver accents as like a fruit bowl or something. I love the unique shape of this. That rectangular, it's sort of small shape. 15 to like put a soap on, a soap and a hand lotion or something next to a sink, or even to do like some marble cups on here with like pens on your desk could be super nice. This is also nice to set like a candle on just to add a little bit more style and layering. That's pretty for 10. This is one of those booths that you can literally barely move in. But I always come in the ones with a lot of crystal because you can find some really good crystal vases, like Waterford vases, or even like etched glass. Like the one in the back right corner is nice with those lines on it. I can't even get back there, but I like that with the not so ornate detail. Just the like clean lines is nice. And then I saw this, which is nice. Again, for like a side table or a coffee table, you put something like this on a stack of books. This is 29. I like that silver sort of like inlay with the glass behind it. That's really pretty. Or even like on a nightstand for your rings. I saw this too. It's like an ironstone piece of serveware, but it has the shell handles. I think that's so charming. I'm always drawn to stuff with shells, but I won't buy it for the house because it's too predictable. Being born and raised in South Florida, everyone like has coastal decor. Either that or like super modern is what's in now, and I don't like either. I love this shape, but I don't love the flowers on the front. This antique store is like this hallways, and like each section like this is a different vendor. Um, and typically with these antique stores that are big and packed, when I find stuff, I will bring it to the front and leave it at the register so that you don't have to carry it around. And you can always negotiate some with prices, which is nice. I'm not sold on these, but I do think that they're pretty. This like simple rose etched. There's a set of 4, and see how it's just on one side instead of really ornate the whole way around. I like those. This is cool. This has these tiny feet. Can you see that? These tiny feet on the bottom. The label says it's a planter. I don't really think so, but to set this on a coffee table could be cool. It's maybe a little bit too ornate for me, but it's heavy, solid cast iron. Here's copper. I always look through the copper kitchenware because I have some. I have it hanging in the kitchen. Material copper disperses heat evenly. That's why it's so good for cooking. So you won't get like one spot on a pan that's hotter than like the edges. The whole thing will heat up evenly. So it makes it great for cooking. I don't know what these are. I guess they're sort of like serveware. This would even be a cute dog bowl, but I love this color blue, this more grayish. I call it a French blue. That's not bright and it's also not baby blue. It just feels so sophisticated to me. I'm not a huge fan of these. I don't know what I would do with them, but I love the color. If you had coastal decor, this could be so cute. It's like one of those Nantucket style boxes, except it's just a small one for like a pair of reading glasses or like blue light blockers, and just leave them in your living room, like on a side table or the coffee table, or even like your nightstand would be a cute way to just sort of hide a practical item.
This could be nice for like the kitchen island.
For etched glassware, this pattern is my pattern of choice. These like leaves, because it's not so ornate. And actually, I sort of take back what I just said, because I would buy one off something like this just as like a bud vase. In fact, this one with the little pedestal, the little leg, $2. I feel like that's so pretty for like a nightstand, or even next to the sink in our vanity. I like looking through some of the linens, like this white one is a table runner. Just the quality is always so good if they're not stained and stuff. This seller over here, she has these 3 sections, and this is where I buy a majority of my sterling silver forks, knives, spoons, syrupware. She goes, or I think she's from New York, and a lot of her stuff she sources when she goes back home. So a lot of it's like hotelware and really hard to find stuff. So I always check to see if she has the style that I collect. And when any of these sellers are in store, I always stop them and pick their brain to learn more about the stuff I collect, and like where it's from and what to look for, and like what makes things more expensive versus less expensive, because to the naked eye normally you wouldn't know. I just find it so interesting. So she's really stocked up this time. I'm gonna put my phone down and sort through. Okay, I was going through this where she has like sets bunched together for forks. This one I thought was really nice because it's just more clean line, which makes it like a little bit more modern, less ornate. I thought those were nice. And then this set too. It's just more simple. Those are pretty too. In sterling silver. I also saw this, which is much more chunky than the stuff that I have, but that shape at the bottom is the style that I like. I am gonna get these 2 forks for like charcuterie boards. I think are nice. This is pretty. I like the detail on it. It can be hard to find things that size. This is nice. I really like the shape, but I wish it was silver plated and not pewter, just so it was a little brighter, but That's nice. It has a classic shape. It's sort of like Edwardian, I would say. I'm constantly looking for unique vases because I love a good flower arrangement. This one's cool. Something different, heavy, glass. I love this super simple pitcher for 20. I like that it's low and wide. It's simple. There's no etching on it. It's not crystal. It's just glass. It almost kind of reminds me of like a beaker style. I think that that would be so nice, not only to use for serving, but also for florals. Guys, I haven't seen any of this in person yet. I literally just found it online while I was finding vintage stuff for you guys. But here's a crystal hexagon bowl from Tiffany, and here are crystal candlesticks. This would be so good, like on a coffee table or a side table. You just can't go wrong with super classic, high quality pieces like that. I don't usually buy acrylic because it can turn like yellowy over time. So I feel like it doesn't age great. But I really like this one. This gray bottom pulls blue a little bit. It's almost like a French blue color. And to put this like in a bathroom or on a real aged wood table next to some coffee table books would be so nice. Or even like in a powder bathroom, I buy these linen look disposable hand towels that would fit perfectly in here just to stack up. Okay, I am always looking for good jars for storage, like in a bathroom or a pantry. And these ones are really unique. They have that like geometric shape to them, and they have airtight lids. It just really elevates a space when your storage items are just as pretty as your decor. Love those. Here are more jars. These are nice, the amber glass jars. And then you can get one of those label printers, like apothecary style, and put something on the front. You could put like Q-tips or cotton swabs in there, or even like decant a supplement into there if it's something you take every day, like your probiotic, where it looks pretty sitting on the counter. Okay, these are blue and white ceramic, but on the sides, they are, I don't know, maybe this is like silver plate or some kind of metal, and they open. I don't have blue and white in our house, but these would be really cool as like ring holders or for coffee table styling or something. Those are just super unique. I've never seen anything like them. Okay, I spotted this and wanted to talk about it really quick because I'm going to do my best to explain this, but some of these more like sculptural modern pieces just really add something sort of different in your space. It's almost like adding a sardine into a Caesar salad. Like sardines on their own are not great, but inside of a salad, they're really good. Like this would be like what I would consider like throwing a sardine in your space, sort of like on its own, it's not great. It's sort of weird, but if you pair it with a bunch of other things in your house, something like this could look really good. Um, One thing that sort of reminds me of this that I have had on my wish list are modern abstract like mobiles. They have ones that are on bases that can sit tabletop, but they also have ones that hang from the ceiling. I'd really like to get one in all black. I feel like it's just something sculptural like that to your place just adds so much interest. Here's a little etched glass. It almost looks like a carafe. I don't know if that's how you say it, where you put like water or something in here and then it has a cup that sits in here. But you could also use this as a vase. Etched glass is really pretty. This is too ornate for me. I normally stick to that more like leaf pattern, but really thin glass. and would be pretty for flowers. This is nice, just black ceramic. I like the silhouette of it for like a bud vase. I'm not super drawn to black, but as I've styled my place, I've noticed how important it is to have a couple of black pieces. I actually have a Hager black ceramic vase right now with pink peonies on the kitchen island, and I think it looks great. Okay, I saw this like Venetian style, I think that's what you call it, 3-panel mirror. That's super cool. Let me see if I can zoom in. The detail on it, it's etched glass. Really cool. I don't have anywhere to put something like that, but it's a cool styling piece. I feel like it would add a lot of character to a space. I also sometimes worry about some pieces like that, bringing them in, because even though I think that they're really unique, I feel like they could almost pull like a little glam. I like these. They have a good shape to them. They're concrete. They're gray. They have little feet. Those are super cute. I also saw these ones, which are smaller and rectangular. Like, I think that these could be really nice in a kitchen for like herbs. Okay, this one vendor in here always has tons of Wedgwood, and I'm always looking at the blue Wedgwood pieces. I'm super drawn to the blue Wedgwood. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I would get tired of it, and it doesn't really match the other things that I have going on in my house. But nonetheless, I always look because I don't know what it is. I'm just so drawn to it. So much detail, and they have lots of like really unique ceramic pieces. Like, look at the shape of this. This is tiny. It looks like a butter pat, but the silver plated, I still think this could be cool in like a bathroom as a ring dish. I would prefer it if it didn't have these little handles and it had like hinges on one side so that it opened like that, but a lot of really pretty detail on here. This is cool. It's a little ornate for me, but silver is super in right now. It has good shape, and those colors are nice. It's like brass and silver. Super different. I've never seen anything like that. And then I also saw this chinoiserie, I think it's called. Yeah, chinoiserie box. This one has really pretty colors on it. It's not quite as bright as some of the other ones I've seen. This one's more like pastel. It's not my style, but it's really pretty. That's a good one if you're into chinoiserie. Here is a silver plated bottle coaster. This one's fairly simple compared to some of the other ones I've seen. It's a little large for me. It's not quite right, but I do have my eye open for something like this. Okay, I rarely see black and white Wedgwood. I don't know if it's more rare or because it's maybe super popular, but these are nice. I would like actually consider getting a piece or two of this um for like coffee table styling maybe, or even like a bathroom. Guys, I don't know what it is why I like this stuff so much, but just the dainty details and shape, I find it so cool. Okay, this mirror is not quite right for my space, and I don't think I have room for another one, but the detail on this mirror is really pretty. And I feel like to get sort of an odd mirror like this, like a one of a kind mirror with a lot of personality, just adds so much to your space. Even just having one somewhere. It's such a statement piece and it just really does something. I have a couple around the house, and after I bought one, I was forever changed. These, I think they're called like obelisks. That one's pretty cool. It's silver, but I feel like I've had this image in my head of a set of marble obelisks on each side of a marble fireplace or really any kind of fireplace. I feel like it's just an unexpected sculptural touch that sort of serves as like artwork. I think that they could be done really well. Okay, this one's not quite right, but I do keep my eye out for unique trash cans for like a powder bathroom or an office. This one's acrylic. I actually have an acrylic one that I have in my office, but it's just a nice touch. If the trash can has to be out, you want it to look good, look like a piece of decor, and not like an eyesore. It's a good thing to keep your eye out for. Forever searching for good silver trays. This one almost feels like it like opens up or something. It's really thick. Could be cool actually to set on top of like a vintage wood breadboard for dimension. If you did like a charcuterie setup, it's good to have stuff at different heights. So you can put like grapes on here and kind of have them drape over and then set it on top of a breadboard where you lay out the like meats and cheese. Stuff like that can be nice. I like this one too with the little feet and the scalloped edge. That's actually a really good one because I don't see ornate carved detailing, which for me is a turnoff. But I like the little feet on here and I like the scallop shape. That's a good one. This is not practical because I don't think it would fit much in there, but that silver pitcher, the silhouette of it is so pretty. And if it was polished up so it was shiny, it'd be really nice. Okay, I was about to leave and this caught my eye. This little object is so cool. It has these divots in the side that open because it's actually an ashtray and it sits on this little coaster. So I think actually this can be removed. But this is just so cool. This is the type of stuff that they don't make anymore. And honestly, it would just serve as like a cool object for tabletop styling. Okay, these have been really hard to find. This one's 3 gallon. I'm looking for one in a much bigger size, like 15 gallon. I think they go all the way up to 30 gallon with this mark on here says the size. But I'm thinking to get like a 15 gallon one and put it at the front entryway actually as an umbrella holder. But these are super practical. They hold water so you can fill them up and use them as vases. It's nice that they come in really big sizes. You could also get a smaller size, maybe like a 2 gallon or 3 gallon, I guess would work, and like put them next to the kitchen stove for your utensils, like wooden spoons and spatulas. They're just really well made, high quality pieces that I feel like are super versatile. I'm back from vintage shopping and let's get into what I got. Sometimes I don't get anything when I go vintage shopping. It's always fun to look, but today I actually did pretty good. It's my first time antique shopping since I got back from Round Top, Texas. And I was really wondering, like, did I spoil the experience for myself? Going to Round Top is sort of like the pinnacle. And then now shopping around, like at the just vintage stores around the neighborhood, am I still going to enjoy it? Well, the answer is yes. I don't think I'll ever get sick of it. So that was really exciting. And okay, let's get into it. Okay, so I found this silver plated tray. It's rectangular. It's pretty small. I really love the detail on here. I'll pop up a little picture somewhere of what it looked like before I gave it a quick polish. This was just a really quick one so that I could show you guys, but it still needs a little bit more, just a minute or so would work. Here is what I typically use. It comes with a little sponge in there. I order it off Amazon. It works wonders. It's easy to use. It's just like a cream. And yeah, it's hard. I have had trouble finding trays that are this small rectangular shape. I love them to put like a hand lotion and a hand soap or a bar of soap with a little dish for your rings. It's great for a bathroom sink, a kitchen sink, a laundry room sink for styling like that. It sort of just corrals your practical items, which I love. Okay, I got these little white porcelain dishes with the silver rim. I love the shape. I was thinking that I could use these as butter pats on a tablescape for if you're serving bread and butter. You could put them next to the stove as little pinch pots for like salt and pepper, or even on your nightstands or next to your bathroom sink for your rings. I just love that these were classic and simple, that they'll go anywhere in the house. So very versatile little pieces. Okay, here is I'm going to say Japanese Celadon crane bowl. So I think Celadon is this color. Japanese, I think I can tell by the design and the silhouette that this is probably Japanese. And then these are little cranes. The colors on this are so pretty, and I love that the base is small and it has really good pitch to it. Finding pieces like this honestly really excites me. I think that handmade ceramics are one of those things that are so good to look for, antique and vintage, because you can find ones that are one of a kind, that were made small batch, handmade, that are very unique. And I'm not sure if this is a brand that people who collect Celadon would be familiar with, or if this is a one-off, but I wasn't sure whether or not to get it. I bit the bullet and got it. And now that it's in the house, it goes so well with my other items. This really like soft green color is really pretty. So now it has my wheels turning and I'm kind of like, ooh, maybe that's something that I'll add to my list. I keep a phone notes of things to collect to sort of act as like guardrails and keep myself in check, because a lot of these places are super overstimulating, and it's easy to find things that you like or are drawn to without mentally checking yourself and saying, okay, well, in the context of my home and sort of the aesthetics of my home, would this piece play nice with the other items in my home? So I like to keep little phone notes. I check it, and I don't know, now I'm kind of thinking, should I add Japanese Celadon pieces to that list? I'm not sure, but that one piece I really do like. Next, we have this silver plated bottle coaster. So it's meant for like a wine bottle. You set it in here. I liked this one because it has this more simple, just leaf detail on it. It's not super ornate. And this one's relatively small compared to the other ones that I found, but you can use this for a bottle of wine, like on a table or on the kitchen island, to prevent condensation, or like on a bottle of red to prevent drips from getting on your counter and staining them. But you can also use this on like a side table or a coffee table with a candle in here. Like I especially like that look with the candle and some primitive dark woods and silver objects for like Christmas season to decorate the home. Love. Here I have this little crystal cup. It has the little pedestal base, which I love. And again, with that etched leaf detailing, that is my preferred design for etched glassware. There's many different styles of etched glassware. I've seen tons of like florally and more scrolly, ornate, but I just love the classic simple leaf. That's what most of my stuff is. So Even if I find stuff that's not a full set, I will buy it if it's that leaf pattern, because once I get home and mix it in with my other stuff, it sort of becomes a full set here. So I'm excited to use this. I'm not going to use it as drinkware. I'm actually going to use it as a bud vase because it's just a little one-off guy, but super cute. Next up, we have this little glass toothpick holder. It has a lion emblem on the front and a silver plated rim. I still need to polish this up, but I figured this would be perfect for like toothpicks in the powder bathroom. Like in a couple weeks when I'm hosting my mom's 70th birthday party, put it in there. You have something in your teeth. It's practical. Guests can use it. Also, I have a ebonized mahogany antique bar cart in the kitchen, which I think that this with that black wood would look really nice with like some shakers and cocktail mixers all out when you are entertaining. I thought this would be super cute. I found this heavy Tiffany crystal hexagon bowl. I love the geometric shape. I also really like this sort of like crown molding detail. This one is shorter and wider than the ones that I have found. I recently just found some of the smaller version on eBay and Etsy when I was doing my May vintage roundup for you guys, which I have tagged in Shop My, where you guys can actually shop these items. So when I was shopping in person today and found this, I knew that I had to pick it up, and they gave me a really good deal on it. It was $125 and they ended up giving it to me for $70. So I couldn't pass it up. I could use it in the kitchen as a fruit bowl. I could also put it on the coffee table, which is where I think it will probably live once we get a big round dark wood coffee table, sort of with books stacked up next to it. I think that it's a really versatile styling piece. You could also probably use this as serveware, like put a salad or something in here. With some antique and vintage crystal pieces, you have to be careful. Some aren't food safe because they're leaded crystal, but after a certain time period, I think it is, they stop putting lead in crystal. I can't exactly remember, but definitely if I was to put food in there, or if you are considering putting food in a crystal piece, you want to look that up first just to be safe. Okay, next up, I found this sterling silver frame. It's a pretty big frame. I love that it's just a flat profile with this little detail in the corners. It's wood on the back. It's in great condition and it was a good price. I am not a huge fan of family photos or personal photos around the house, like a gallery wall or anything like that, especially like hanging on the walls. I really prefer artwork, but I will say a little frame photo, like a wedding photo or something like that, I'm into it if it's in intimate areas of the home, like in maybe your personal office or on your nightstand, maybe in the master bathroom, places like that, just for you. I think that that's nice. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that frame for now, but it was too good to pass up. I feel like sterling silver frames are just so classic. I already had in the back of my head that I would only get sterling silver frames. I actually broke that rule when I found these etched, mirrored, super patinaed frames that I put our film wedding photography inside of for our nightstands. But in general, I just feel like the sterling silver frames are just timeless and classic that you can't go wrong if you want to add a little sentimental touch somewhere in the home. Okay, I found these two little ladles. I love, is it going to focus? I love that little detail at the top. They sort of look like lily of the valley, which I'm obsessed with. And I thought that this was just so unique, the way that they're a little bit more squared off instead of super round. These, I'm not sure if you can tell scale wise, but they're relatively small. I just thought it would be so great for when you have like a spread to serve sauces or like use in a gravy boat during Thanksgiving. Um, that those were really nice. I have a couple more serveware items. This is the classic sterling silver that I use with that end on there. This is just a really long spoon to use as serveware. And then again, with these little, they to me almost look like pickle forks. I'm not sure what these would have been used for, but again, for like a charcuterie board or something, those are really nice. And then I was excited to find these spoons because, as you guys know, I've been collecting sterling silverware and all with this same detail on the back side. Most of it is Roger Bros. I'm not brand loyal. I've kind of been picking different stuff as long as to my eye it looks like it's matching because of the ends. All of the stuff that I've collected so far is serveware, like big forks and knives for, a turkey roast, or giant spoons for like a side dish, little pickle forks and ladles, and nothing to actually like eat with. I found these spoons. They have a little monogram on them. And honestly, I loved that there was a monogram on them. I felt like it just adds to the history and the story of them and gives them some extra charm. So I was super excited to find these. There's a set of 8, which is perfect. I normally try to get sets of 8 or 12 with things. Okay, guys, that's all I have today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for another one. Bye.